The Holeshot Cross marks the start of the second half of the Individual Quadrilla Marble League in Season 5. It's another event where we whittle down the competitors to 1 after multiple rounds of action. This, the second ever iteration of the Holeshot Cross, heats of 8 this time instead of heats of 4. Every marble will have 2 chances to avoid falling in those holes or going off on either side. The first 4 marbles in each heat that get 2 strikes will be eliminated. The other 4 will go to the final, where we do it all again until we have 1 winner. There you can see our 2 heats of 8 in this event. It's another heats of 8 event after we just had the sprint shootout. And in that sprint shootout event, Sandstorm and Candycorn were the top 2. Those 2 are well ahead in the top of the standings by 19 points from Candycorn to Seabed in 3rd, but it's very close from 3rd on down. Can anyone catch those top 2? Here, Candycorn down through to Rainforest in this first heat. Will start off in the first round of many in this first heat. Remember, every marble has 2 chances to avoid falling off. The first few marbles seem to make it. Mozzarella goes off to the near side though, and I think they're the only one that will get their first strike in the first round. Yeah, I think they got tripped up by one of those holes. Even if you don't fall in those holes, they can still trip up your trajectory. And that's, I think, what happened with Mozzarella going off to the near side. So, they will still have a chance to advance from this heat, but they need to avoid getting any more strikes at all cost. Everyone else still has 2 strikes in hand, so it's a bit of a buffer for everyone else, but Mozzarella needs to make sure they get to the catch basin in every round thus far. Seabed starts off and will make it to the end. We have a few more eliminations this time. A few more strikes this time. I think a few marbles fell in that hole on the near side. Neptune did. Candycorn at the back of the field also went in that same hole. And Mystic Orb and Rainforest as well. Mystic Orb fell in a hole further up the course, and Rainforest fell down on the near side. So, we have 5 marbles now that are down to their final chance. Goop, Ecto, and Seabed still have 2 strikes in hand. We may see our first elimination in this 3rd round. Neptune leads the way ahead of Mystic Orb. Seabed in the back. Neptune. Ooh, we have a few marbles that all go off to the far side. Neptune, Rainforest, and Mozzarella. All 3 of those marbles were down to their final strike, so they're all going to be eliminated. Seabed also fell in that gap in the center. They still had 2 strikes in hand, so they will still move on to round 4 at least. But we are down to just 5 marbles in this first heat in round number 4. Only one of these will not advance. The other 4 will go to the final. And Goop and Ecto still have 2 strikes in hand. The other 3 do not. So Goop and Ecto can afford to lose a strike here, but the other 3 want to get to that end. Goop falters, and Seabed also falls in that hole in the center. And Goop had 2 strikes in hand. They'll be fine. Seabed, though, after just losing their first strike, just getting their first strike in the previous round, they will get their second one immediately, and they are going to be knocked out. That means Goop, Mystic Orb, Candycorn, and Ecto are going on to the final. They'll be joined by 4 marbles from the second heat. It just took 4 rounds in that first heat to whittle it down to 4. We have that same number of rounds here. 8 marbles on the course here. We have a lot of eliminations, a lot of strikes in this first round. Someone fell in that hole. I think it was Rasher that fell in that center hole, and a couple of marbles fell off to the near side. Void and Cobra were those marbles, and all 3 of those marbles are getting their first strike. Rasher, Void, and Cobra cannot afford to get any more strikes if they want to go to the final. The other 5 can. Blizzard this time leads the way ahead of Rasher. It's Bluetail, Tarzan, Void, Cobra, Casper, and Sandstorm at the back. Ooh, Blizzard doing a very unorthodox path, but everyone makes it to the end except for Casper, who goes off to the near side. How did this transpire for Casper? They were towards the back of the field. Oh, and they were so close. If they just stayed a bit off, a bit to the center. Oh, that was actually so close. Bouncing off the wall of the tray, but that is going to be their first strike. Rasher, Void, and Cobra all managed to make it to the end. So those 3 and Casper are down to their final strike. The other 4 still have 2 strikes in hand. This time Rasher leads the way ahead of Bluetail. And it's Blizzard in the back. Sandstorm falls in the hole in the middle, and parts of the course getting dislodged as well. I think we have our first elimination here. Blizzard also off to the far side. Casper falls in one of the holes, and they will be eliminated. Casper actually went off to the far side. They'll be our first elimination. And now, Bluetail is the only marble that has 2 strikes in hand. Everyone else is down to the final strike. So, we'll probably have more eliminations in this round. Bluetail leads the way. 1 marble fell in the hole in the middle. I think that was Cobra. And Cobra will be out. The second marble out in this second heat. Everyone else managed to make it. Ooh, scare for Blizzard. They do manage to make it to the end. Bluetail still has 2 strikes in hand. Everyone just won, but Cobra will unfortunately bow out here. Difficulties continue for them in this season as we go into the second half. But Tarzan, Void, Sandstorm, Blizzard, Rasher, and Bluetail are playing to avoid those final 2 elimination spots. Tarzan leads the way ahead of Void here. It's a very bunched up field in this specific round. Marbles, ooh, getting dislodged everywhere. Rasher goes off to the far side. They're going to be out. Did anyone else falter? Bluetail did. Fell in the hole very high up the course. And they are getting their first strike. Everyone else had their first strike. Did manage to get safe, except for Rasher. So they are the 3rd marble out from Heat 2. And now we have 5. At the 5 marble free-for-all, everyone has 1 strike. So just make it to the end and you should be safe. If you have multiple strikes here, come down to their first strike when they got that. Void leads the way here. They are going to fall into the hole. Blizzard as well, off the near side. And I think Tarzan as well. So Bluetail and Sandstorm made it to the end. Those 2 are definitely going to be fine. Now it depends on between Void, Blizzard, and Tarzan who got their first strike earliest. And it's Void getting their first strike in round 1. They're going to be out here and they're at 9th place. Rasher, Seabed, Cobra making up 9th. 11th, making up 10th, 11th, and 12th, and Mozzarella getting dead last. But we have our final 8, and we whittle it down. Everyone still has 2 strikes in hand here until we reach 1 gold medalist. Goop makes it to the end, leading the way. Candy Corn off to the near side, and Bluetail also managed to get a strike. I'm not sure where that happened, but Candy Corn and Bluetail are going to get their first strikes. Oh, Bluetail in the hole on the far side, quite far up the course. So they and Candy Corn are getting their first strikes in this final. The other 6 still have 2 strikes in hand. This time, Sandstorm leads the way. Candy Corn with that first strike. They want to keep pace with Sandstorm in the standings. The others are hoping both of them will get eliminated soon. Tarzan. I think that's Tarzan that goes off to the far side. And they're getting their first strike in the second round. Everyone else managed to make it to the end. Tarzan's the only one that loses a chance in this second round. Candy Corn and Bluetail, pivotal for them. They make it to the end, still have their strike in hand. Ecto, Blizzard, Mystic Orb, Goop, and Sandstorm have done a great job avoiding the holes and either side. They all have 2 strikes in hand. And Ecto, far ahead of the rest of the field here in this third round. They make it to the end. Candy Corn goes off to the near side. They're the only one that does. And Candy Corn will be our first marble out in this final. Candy Corn will get 8th place. That's big for the championship. Sandstorm has now an opportunity. Ooh, Sandstorm actually also fell in one of those holes. But they still have an opportunity to stretch their lead if they can hold on to a good result here. Candy Corn will only get 8th place in this event. Bluetail, Tarzan, and Sandstorm, though, all are down to their final chance. Blizzard leads the way this time, but it's a bunched up field this time as opposed to the last. Ooh, parts of this track getting very dislodged at the top of the course. And that could have made the difference for Mystic Orb and Ecto. Both of them are getting their first strikes in this round. But no one will get eliminated. The 3 marbles that had their first strike already all make it to the end. Mystic Orb and Ecto falling off on either side get their first strike. And now it's just Goop and Blizzard among these final 7 that still have 2 strikes in hand. The other 5 need to make to the end first. Blizzard trailing the field. Bluetail in front. They will make it to the end. Ecto falls in the hole very high up the course. Oh, they were suffered from those blocks getting dislodged and them being at the back of the field. And Ecto, they're not going to be happy with that. It's a terrible way to go out. But Ecto and even Sandstorm is going to be out here. In fact, Sandstorm is going to be out. They're going to get either 6th or 7th in this event. They had a chance to stretch their lead over Candy Corn, but they're only going to do it by 1 or 2 points. But regardless, we have our final 5. Mystic who goes off to the far side. In fact, 4 marbles are out here in this round. Only Bluetail makes it to the end. Absolute chaos here. Bluetail gets their first strike. Tarzan is out. Mystic Orb is out on the far side. Blizzard gets their first strike as well. And Goop also gets their first strike, but both of them having 2 chances really saved them because they're down to our final 3. Blizzard, Bluetail, and Goop in this final 3 of Holeshot Cross. We have our podium. The question is, in what order? Blizzard gets to the end. So does Goop and Bluetail. Those latter 2 took their time to make it to the end. Had a bit of scares, especially for Bluetail. Got tripped up on multiple holes, but did manage to get to the end. So, on to round 8. We are going to do this until we have one winner. All 3 of them have their first strike already, so if anyone gets out here, they will get the bronze. Bluetail, far ahead of the other 2. Getting far ahead seems to be a strategy far into this event, but all of them managed to make it to the end. Perhaps with more space for each of these competitors, with less competitors, it's easier for them to stay focused on their own path, as we are gone to the 9th round with all 3 still in it. No idea how long this will go for, but this time Goop, Blizzard, and Bluetail all quite bunched up in the funnel as they descend down. And Blizzard will falter in the hole on the far side, the final hole on the far side. Oh, and they just were straight in the path, could do nothing to avoid that. So Blizzard will settle for the bronze. It'll be a battle between Goop and Bluetail for the gold medal. I might add, Goop, great run of form in the last few events. I think 4th, 3rd, 4th, and now a top 2 finish. But will it be good enough for gold? They're chasing their first gold medal of the season, while Bluetail chasing their 2nd of the season after the Quadrilla race. Bluetail comes down first, and it's Goop on the far side, and Goop will get tripped up and get the silver. Bluetail will capture gold in the Holeshot Cross, their 2nd gold of the season. So not going to be the first time we had 7 different gold medalists. We had 6 different gold medalists in the first 6 events, but Bluetail is our first double gold medalist of Season 5. They will get the full 25 points. Goop, though, a very hard-fought silver medal, and Blizzard also survived all the way up to round 9 for the bronze. So after event 7 of 12, Sandstorm has a 3-point lead over Candy Corn. Bluetail jumps up to 3rd place, just 9 points behind Candy Corn in 3rd place. Then it's Blizzard, Goop, Seabed, Mystic Orb, and Rasher rounding out the top half. The next event will be the elimination race.